Hey everybody, and welcome to the next 3 ways in Flame. Now this one is going to be on a topic that is very relevant and very useful in many different ways, and that is 3 ways to view scopes inside of Flame. Now this topic actually becomes four. So the first way, which is not possible to be shown in this video, which is through hardware scopes, which we all know. One popular way is to loop through your broadcast output into Thunderbolt input, and then say with a program like Scopebox to view scopes, which can be very handy. But let's take a look at ways inside of software. So that was the first way, which is hardware scopes. The second way, which is the scopes that live on the timeline. So again, by default, it won't be shown, but if we go show vector scope, we can see we have options for the normal guy, and then if we go luminance, we can have our lumiscope. No RGB parade, but from the timeline, this can get us to where we want sometimes, and can be used and can be good. So let's look at, so it's actually going to be 5 ways. So that was 2 ways. So the other way, which is, again, something that exists in software and has for a long time, is through the color warper. So no matter what's plugged into the color warper, if we look at the output, you see we'll always get scopes that live here. And I'm just moving that by pressing Alt. If I press Shift Alt, it's not working, but Alt can move it around. I'm using Flame hotkey, so that's probably why I'm used to smoke ones. The other thing we do is in node preferences, we can change this to lines, and we can get it to look how we want. Again, 3Ds usually know what we want, but we can get something similar to what we're used to for a normal hardware scope, which can be handy. One of the pitfalls though with this technique is if we set up a Alt 3 view and we set this guy to be our context 3 or whatever, and we press spacebar 3, the problem with using this scope is we don't see the scope unless we're looking at the result and not the context. So that's a little bit of a gotcha and something to keep in mind. Now there's another one that exists, which is by Lewis Saunders, which is his LS Scoops, which lives on his GitHub page. And if we look at this and just pipe it straight in, you see we get our source image, and then we get an RGB parade, lumiscope, and the vector scope. So if we just go into the Spark too, we see we have a 4-up, a waveform, a vector scope, and an RGB parade. Again, super handy, super free, which is good. But it's in the Spark architecture. Nothing against this plugin. I think it's great. But it's always good to know that there's more than one option. So this will be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th option. So this is the MD scope, which is part of his collection, which is great. And again, this guy, just like the Lewis Saunders one too, just to point out, if we view this as context, spacebar 3, you see both of these guys, and we view the Donny one, spacebar 1, you see both of these are viewable in context. Both have their own purpose and can be great. And again, just a quick look at several different ways to view scopes inside of Flame. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Stay tuned for more.